Wait, what time is it? Oh, crud. We're late. Live from the Crescent Moon Temple. It's the morning show with your host, Tolinar, scrambling. It's time to play the music 10 minutes ago. Get your butt moving. Let's go. It's time for the morning show, and I'm hanging in there. Barely. I slept in. Let's quickly check the chat room. Anybody there? Hello? It's time for the morning show, and I guess I'm rolling as fast as I can go now. Oh my gosh. I got into a conversation. The host, the guest, the audience. It's what I've got to be. There's no one even out there. This all depends on me. And that's nothing unusual. It's just another day. I'm sure I can make my life great if I get my butt out of bed. I'm sorry, guys. I got to talking about how when East meets West, it can lead to censorship, and this censorship can have both positive and negative effects on media. In the case of Doki Doki Panic, attempting to make a game that suits Western audiences led to the creation of Super Mario Bros. 2, which I would consider to be an iconic piece of media. However, the same thing actually destroyed Senran Kagura. But guess the audience, what the hell am I talking about? It's really, really early for all of this crud, but it all depends on the West meets the East, which is a complex idea, and it does take some time to digest because the same conflict of virtues can lead to the birth of incredible media such as Peach Beach Splash, whereas the exact same conflict between ideals was exactly what killed Senran Kagura in the dressing room censorship, disheartened the creator of the original. Imposing freedoms, constraints can produce beautiful. Today on the morning show, what the hell is this guy rattling on about? It's March. I have to turn my calendar over and see what's on the next page. Here we go, kids. It says small universes. That's right. Today we're going to be talking about culture phenomenon. And what perfect way to talk about it than fan service? Culture. West meets East. Today's morning show is brought to you by the letter E and the number 0. And by viewers like me, because brother, I'm it. All right, let's get my connector up. Stand by. Now launching. We're a few minutes late today. Thank you for your patience. Today is completely March 1st. I think it's a Sunday. Yes. Just mangle this up. Today we're going to be talking about culture clash. What are you doing? Don't do that. Don't fuck with me. I don't like that. You know better. There we go. So, let's start off by asking, what is culture? Well, culture is, as I have alluded to in previous streams, when things are passed down from parent to child, teaching. The trend of living can be referred to as culture. When we choose what is important to teach our children, the trend of virtues in an area or a society or even a family, specific behaviors, and other things of this nature form what is called culture. Man, it's a little cold in here. I think I'm going to get the temperature up. I know, it's cold. I'm working on it, kitty. I'll get the heat. I'll get the heat. Don't gotta worry. I got you. It's cranking up just now. Okay, so here's Kentaro Sato and the Budapest Symphony Orchestra performing Stardew Valley. It's the soundtrack to my life. Well, we discussed the idea of culture. Now, the first roots of culture exist back when we taught our children which plants are safe to eat and which ones should be eaten. Yeah, we have to, yeah. You're right. Yes, that's right, kitty. Here, tell the audience. Say it. You tell them all about your cat culture. That's the way, you good kitty. Oh, yes. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Here, I'll give you a snack. Yeah. Kitty was gonna talk about it. Right. You got it. You got it. Kitty knows all about it. Kitty is also tired of her stale food. It's fine, I'm gonna get her some fresh stuff. Yes, as it turns out, let me get this kludged out a little bit. As it turns out, culture is what we teach our children. Like literally. When things pass down through blood and family, through systems of associate and neighbor, when we teach people how to live their lives better, it becomes culture because we pass that on to our own children. The messages we share and the things we transmit to the next generation become pools of virtue. Different sections of people have different solutions. Here in what can vaguely be called the West, we were taught that the key to a hardscrabble existence is to grow fast, compete hard, and stay friendly. A warm competition. That's what the average American shoots for. All's fair, no blood on the hands, and yet we are competing. Now, if you run into hard streaks, I'll lend a hand because that's the way we do. But you and I, we are meant to see who's better. And so a little bit of healthy competition was never bad for society. And that's the way the US is run. We're all cowboys striving to carve out our niche. And we're all reaching for the same goals. So, it only makes sense, you know? And we would end up being people who are a bit hard scrabble. and doing what we can do, you know? Well, just kind of hanging in there. Japan had a very different culture. An island nation. They learned to give each other respect first. They learned that people's privacy was important. Their virtues are different than ours. They are in many ways compatible, and in some ways, not so much. We influence each other. Do what we can. Does it go too far? The Japanese government wants to block Western influence to its media to help preserve its cultural heritage. Some good things came from Western influence, and many things that were not so good came from Western influence. I can't say what's best. Some of my favorite things in Japanese culture came from Western influence in that culture, you know? And yet, by the same token, some of my favorite things in Japanese culture were destroyed by Western influence. There's a part of me that is absolutely sick of it. Ah, yes. It's quite difficult, I think. So, anyways. Yeah. Beat that dude. I'm such a dork. Okay. No, stop it, Ilara. She's doing that infinite thingy. Oh, bro. Ah, I need my brain. Don't do that. All right. So, let's talk about Peach Beach Splash. This game released in 2017. Kenichiro Takaki, the producer and writer of the designer of the game, released this baby specifically in response to the backlash revolving around, yes, I know, the backlash surrounding Senran Kagura, the hypersexualized game series Senran Kagura was infamous in the West for merging sexuality and violence, which made it unpopular, to say the least. It got a lot of backlash, and the West put pressure on Sony to do something about it. Well, their first attempt at that was Bon Appetit, Senran Kagura Bon Appetit. It was a 2014 rhythm video game, which was corny, but featured enough lewdness that it was disliked simply for splashing lewdness into its nature, you know? Well, in Senran Kagura Estivalverse is the combination of defeating an opponent and turning them into fan service was recursed in Bon Appetit in a much more ridiculous, fantastical style of food art. It was not received well at all. In response to this, you've got to stop being violent, victimizing girls, yarda yarba yarble. Kenichiro decided to do something amazing. He's like, fine, we'll keep it light. There's nothing wrong with fan service in the name of fan service, right? How about it's all water guns? And Peach Beach Splash was born. This is a first-person shooter featuring the characters from Senran Kagura, who occasionally bust out their ninja moves on the battlefield just to beat somebody down. But for the most part, stick with hydro-based artillery. And there's a wide range of guns to do. Here's the thing, he went all in on this concept. The fact that his hand was forced meant that he could go completely in with it. So, while in Senran Kagura Estivalverse, there's a whole lot of creative finishers and situationals, which are really entertaining to watch and take things a little far, honestly. But they are hilarious. Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash basically allows you to blast your opponent's swimsuit off with water, well, what was left of it. There's usually not much of a swimsuit to speak of anyways. And anytime you down someone, you get to finish them off in this way. And then they just respawn. And it's just water. The whole thing is so beautifully corny cheesecake that it drops all over the idea of too much fan service with both feet while laughing. It is a gorgeous and beautiful mess, jam-packed with way too many girls and way too many weapons and way too much fun. And the experience is quite thrilling because once you get past the flash and blare of it all, it is a tight, serviceable first-person shooter with highly unique and interesting weapons that all function well. The fact that so much effort went into producing such a varied and capable weapon pack that supports so many different styles of play. If you want, the classic single water gun is super capable, especially if you're accurate. If you're clean and accurate, the base water gun, the semi-automatic, is more than enough. With a 3-shot pulse that does really good damage. At one point I reviewed all the different water guns, talking about what makes them good and what makes them less good. This was work that I literally did almost 10 years ago. But yeah, I went over all the different water guns. The wind-up on the minigun makes it really effective for doing DPS, but at the same time, you get locked into the animation. It has all the classic problems that the trophy minigun has, plus it has to be reloaded, and reloading a water gun is different. Then there's the sniper rifle, but more than that, there is a shower head, which acts like a flamethrower on steroids. Even the pair of water pistols is unique because unlike all the other guns which have to be aimed, pistols track your enemy with deadly precision. You cannot miss when shooting. I tested this. If you have the single water pistol and you fire and your opponent is anywhere in the 178-degree radius that you're facing, you will not miss. Your opponent will be hit scanned and they will take damage. You can go skirting all over, focused entirely on dodging, not even keeping your opponent square in your screen, flailing around like a random nincompoop, and every single shot will track back in. They will take every single bullet while you are dipping and darting and making their life difficult. There's also various other things that make these valuable. So, with all these different considerations and balance elements between the weapons, well, there are some cheesy things you can do. They never really completely got the balance tightened down, but who cares? It's a video game. It's supposed to be like that on some level. And the PvP is still competitive. Or was the last time I checked. People still play it. You can build up cards, develop techniques and strategies, work out combos, and coordinate an entire girl team in basically a small cell PvP water shoot 'em out with no violence, no blood, just water guns. The fact that it is water guns means that it actually makes sense that your opponent is taking shot after shot while laughing and running in the other direction. The costumes can get very creative. There's a diorama mode. You can even use the VR helmet if you have one. And the game got to be so iconic that it ushered in feature characters. Even their crazy uncle, Team Ninja, actually honored Peach Beach Splash so much that they contributed two of their own competitors, the Ninja Ayane and I think it was Hanukkah, also showed up. Supersonico appeared, Neptunia appeared, I consider Peach Beach Splash the very height of Senran Kagura. It is still one of the best fan service games out there to this day. Like, seriously. It is a fantastic title, and it never falls short. Just a really, really great time. Honestly, the best time to play it is if you're horny. Because you won't be horny, and then after that, you'll still have a good time blasting and laughing and playing with water guns. And then forget about it for a while, and next time you're horny, hey, it's still there. The cycle starts all over again. It's a blast. It's a very, very good game. And it unabashedly takes things not just far enough. It doesn't go that far, but it stands right next to that far and waves and laughs and taunts, and it's great. And it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for East meets West culture. Two different cultural diatribes being forced to coexist. Japan's way too far diatribe and the West's cheeseburger bikini diatribe. The West likes to get close to sexuality without ever touching it, or it did. It doesn't fly anymore, honestly. The world has entered a place now where nudity and sexuality is folded into culture like a sandwich. It's difficult to get away from. So difficult, in fact, that honestly, most people can't do it. We are, thanks to the rise of AI production and AI art, we are at a juncture where a person can imagine virtually anything and the AI will draw it for them. No problem. Sure. Just sketch it out. Meanwhile, oh, good pickles. Oh. Oof. These performances take no time, very little resources, no real skill, and no one is hurt, right? No one even has to draw it, just someone witnesses it, because that's what they requested to see. And that's an interesting idea. One that will change the flow of culture. Because up to this point, for culture to be received, it must be sent. This acts like a touch filter, you see? In order to have someone draw something, you first have to have someone who is willing to draw it. This can be more challenging than it sounds at first. So let's say you have a thing for girls chewing on ice cubes. Now that's weird. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm trying to pick a family-friendly example. You really like to hear girls crunching through ice cubes. Okay, whatever floats your boat, big guy. But, if you want to have pictures and audio of girls crunching through ice cubes, you have to find someone willing to produce that content for you. Now, if your culture finds that objectionable, you're not going to get that no matter what. Culture's like, oh no, we don't do girls crunching through ice cubes. That's naughty, very taboo. And what is taboo in a culture is different from culture to culture. Now, generally speaking, there are broad rules that are considered unacceptable in every society. You shouldn't cause harm to people. You shouldn't steal from people. Those sorts of things, right? Well, the nature of sensuality changes from culture to culture. In some cultures, sensuality is a very natural thing. In others, it is very taboo. And because it is already taboo, it has a tendency to get mixed up in other things that are taboo. And the age of appropriacy is also different from culture to culture. In some cultures, for example, people believe that the sexual and sensual life begins right at puberty, around 12, 13. In other cultures, it's thought that people don't have proper control of their hearts and minds until they're older, 15. In the West, we take this even further. We don't believe someone is capable of consenting to sexual acts until they are 18. Well, I don't think we actually believe that. I think that people who want control over their children insist upon that. And this controllingness is maybe a good thing and maybe not. Anyways, you can see how the complexities of one culture can very easily influence another. So you've got this young 18-year-old actor who's decided to crunch on ice cubes to start her career. Well, what's it going to look like when she goes to get a job later and it shows that she has ice cube crunching in her portfolio? Is that going to impact her need to work because she did something to satisfy somebody else's fetish? You can see some of the complexities that can come from this. Now, I'm not saying that anyone's fetish is bad, especially from the context of not meaning to hurt anyone. But people who are against pornography try very hard to sell the fact that there is no such thing as a victimless crime, because someone has to create the content. Except now that there's AI, that's not true anymore. Now you can get a picture of a girl strolling down the sidewalk, crunching on ice cubes, even playing with them in her fingers and popping them in her mouth, and hey, the AI is not going to care. Nobody had to draw that picture. Nobody had to think about its creation. Just you who asked to see it. As long as you don't show it to anybody else, nobody gets hurt. So is it still bad? Well, that's getting complicated. If somebody uses AI pictures and video to dream of world conquest, overthrowing entire governments, burning down Poland, and, well, getting quite serious about controlling absolutely everybody, is it bad? It's definitely better than trying to do such a thing. Thinking about it and doing it aren't the same thing. Dreaming about it, imagining it, and taking action are different. Sometimes people think about complex actions just to say, there's no way I'd ever do that. But to make other people think about it, that's a lot. What would it have been like if you lived through these difficult times? How would you have dealt with it? What would your life be like? When it's one person asking the question to themselves, it's fine. But when your culture influences other people's cultures, it can be seen as a negative event. This is the real danger behind these things. That is somebody who has no experience with ice cube crunching, just some 10-year-old snot-nosed kid, stumbles across your archive of Ice Cube chewing pictures. Well, now, what's this young mind supposed to think? Well, for one, why was he looking around there? Well, kids are curious, you know. What about the guy who had to draw the ice cube crunching? Well, now he's out of the picture. So the question becomes, is it safe in culture to have this now? If no one is hurt, I don't know what our answer is going to be, because the rules keep changing so quickly. And the way culture is, when someone's answer is made to be irrelevant, then the person will seek to make that speaker irrelevant. There will be people who will attempt to ban AI just because of what it can be used to produce. AI allows you to explore complex ideas without having to worry about who gets hurt, without having to consider the consequences, because there aren't any consequences, especially if it stops with you. You can imagine anything. You can imagine someone putting an ice cube into their mouth the size of their entire mouth. The question becomes not who gets hurt or how they get hurt, but instead whether it is okay to dream, whether it's okay to think about chewing on ice cubes at all. Because if we're restricting thoughts, oh no, my milk clabbered. Okay, that's toast, bummer. And my tea is also toast, we have to start over. I can tolerate sour milk on one level, but clabbered milk is too far. Okay, bummer. I make yogurt regularly, so I'm not completely opposed to sour milk. I have my limits. So, let's try again, shall we? Rebrew my tea. Try again. What does it become when we judge people based on what they think and not what they do? It's the culture we're headed towards. Trying to police people's thoughts is a dangerous game, because the mind should be free to do as it pleases. It's actions that we must worry about. If your thoughts don't influence other people, who cares what they are? And yet, this is specifically what Japan is worried about. Their recent laws are attempting to curtail Western influence on Japanese producers. That's good and bad. Japanese culture, like all the other cultures in the world, is unique and special. And it's produced some things that are unique and special to it. Anime and its unique video game culture. Now the West has its own concept of creative. We can say, oh, Japan, it's the leader of the world's animation. Well, I'd agree. It doesn't mean we haven't done our thing. We absolutely have done our thing. We have done what we do, and that's important. Yeah, we've done what we do. And that is important. Avatar: The Last Airbender. My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Gravity Falls. Has Been Hotel. These amazing shows wouldn't exist. It wouldn't happen if not for Western influence in animation. We have our own video game productions too. So, what's it going to be? How's it going to go? Someone has to decide, and it'll be you. No, not you, Kitty. Not you. It's not going to be you deciding. You want to say it? What do you have to say on the topic? You're going to smudge the mic. Fine. What I thought. Never got nothing to say. Cat's like, oh, please, listen to me, because I'm going to meow at your face very loudly. Well, I think we've gone over the concept of culture. Thank you for tuning in today. I'll see you next time.